This episode of The Casual is brought to you in part by Squarespace. For all your website needs, Squarespace delivers it in an all-around package to help you build a beautiful, integrated online presence. So as we begin our descent into the next year of our lives, we must take a look back at all the fashion statements that have come and gone, and even more that have become staples. They could be timeless. They could be considered timeless. So I'm Reggie Casual, and here are some trends that are here to stay, and some that have lost a great bit of favor amongst the populace. Let's get it. All right, so the first trend that's making headway is outdoor wear, colloquially known as Gorpcore. However, I must say I take a bit of issue with outdoor wear becoming a trend, as it's always been around and people are basically wearing it the same way it's always been worn. So is it a trend or the result of trends moving so fast that people are just wearing normal clothes now? You tell me. That said, Gorpcore, as it were, is quickly getting its just due as more and more people begin to wear it, despite it being the natural thing to wear when it gets colder. On the flip side though, the distressed skinny denim movement seems to be on its last legs. That was kind of a weird segue, but you get me. While there are some who stand by it, the general consensus is that skinny and slims can stay, but the rips and tatters are no-go. To which I say good, not because it isn't a valid style, but because it's had way too much exposure for way too long. Moving briskly, let's just go through these. In the shoe front, things have changed dramatically, but the winner of the war had to be Crocs, thanks in large part to the advent of loungewear. More on that later. And designers like Salehi Bembury, whose Crocs are still the only ones I'll consider wearing, as well as designers like that guy who no one wants to talk about right now for obvious reasons, but the Yeezy Slides and Foam Runners catapulted a wave of different labels to have their own take on it. Apparently, comfort is in vogue, and the aforementioned Croc even made the runway as a result. This gave way to the rise of mules, which I am, let's say, indifferent about. But Crocs and the like are here to stay, no question. Dunks, on the other hand, have finally entered into the dark days as they officially become another staple shoe akin to the Air Force One. Yeah, I said it. Big up for Nike for making the shoe a constant, but I think a lot of people were getting worn down by the machine of releases and not actually getting those releases. I suppose the Panda Dunk is now the universal staple, but Dunks are clearly not where they used to be. The next wave that came back like a phoenix is the wider silhouette, and just as many predicted, it came alongside the return of a more tailored look. While Balenciaga still plays the ever-present pastiche parody machine, other labels are going back to basics and exceptional tailoring, playing with wider silhouettes and more androgynous outings to boot. A bevy of designers and labels are giving their take on it too. Balmain, Junior Watanabe, Undercover, hell, even Burberry is doing their thing. It's incredibly refreshing and classic, giving room for literally everyone to wear clothes and not let clothes wear them. Hopefully, this stays for good. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we have maximalism and logofication. And this is becoming a bit tiresome and over-commercialized for a lot of people. The recent departure of Alessandro Michele at Gucci is just a sign of that trajectory. He's going to leave. It seems that going all out with bombastic outfits is just a bit much for some people. It's a little exhausting. Who would have thought? And brands are feeling the pain. Gucci in particular reported slowed sales and quietly is considering a less bold approach to design going forward. Here's hoping it doesn't get boring, but the winds have sailed on logos and maximum styling as, again, comfort is becoming more important to many consumers. Now, we got two more chunks to cover, so wait for that as we get in a word from this episode's sponsor, Squarespace. You've probably heard that Squarespace is one of the best places to build a website. If you've been here, I know you have. They have award-winning templates, backend analytics, a host of essential integrations, and phenomenal customer service, right? Well, let's go ahead and add to that. Squarespace now gives you the opportunity to build your own email templates, edit your future website on mobile, and now has a video app so you can make your site even more personal for visitors. And you're gonna wanna use all those because Squarespace's new members areas allow you to create communities, monetize, and give back to your most loyal followers and fans. And that's just the surface. By joining up, you can save 10% off of your website by using our link, squarespace.com/thecasual. So get started on that site and use Squarespace today. So the opposite of maximalism is minimalism, right? And if you guessed that minimalism was forging a path ahead, you would be correct. But minimalism isn't just a runway thing, with the likes of Peter Doe, Dries, Bottega Veneta making tremendous strides in that direction. Even street-inspired labels like Kith and Fear of God are banking that a more subtle approach to style is the best move going forward. This wave of minimalist style or minimalist branding is going right in hand with the current cool generation, that is Gen Z, as they are finally starting to enter into post-college life, at least the older half. And because not everyone can be famous, TikTokers, YouTubers, or whatever, the reality of getting a job is becoming all too apparent. So a more mature look with the added benefit of maintaining their influences is key. Labels are adjusting and styles are being adopted with a more fresh and youthful take, albeit a bit more mature, as I said before. Which means that streetwear, you guys know I really don't like saying that, but I have to say it right now, is diminishing on the runway. And don't give me that dry Stussy or Balenciaga Adidas madness. Dry Stussy is actually pretty dope, but it's just few far in between. Most labels are just integrating street-inspired offerings with their general offerings, which is par the course. But as far as runway heavy, that has decidedly been shoved aside for the more tailored look. Luxury, straight-bodied so-called streetwear, and now it's just passé for a plethora of reasons. And finally, the number one trend that 2022 brought back, variety. For all the hoopla and everyone moving from trend to trend, trends are moving too fast, the good thing to come out of all of this is exploration and the fact that people are exploring. I, for one, applaud that so many individuals are finding their styles and have become open to so many different perspectives. Yeah, things like Gorpcore is in, but there are those that stand by workwear or fell in love with loungewear or started getting interested in obscure Japanese labels. 2022 saw so many people going in different directions, and whether that was for notoriety or true discovery is of no consequence. The fact that so many are trying is a trend that I can get behind. Now, for the trend that got mollywopped in 2022, and it's looking like it's going to get a shellacking in 2023, digital fashion, NFTs, metaverse stuff. Listen, there is a larger discussion to be had about this, and in many ways, that avenue towards fashion has some merit. However, the rollout was awful. Nobody understood the worth of anything. You even had the detrimental to the environment talks happening when it came to NFT stuff. That was making rounds. The fashion community deaded the convo quick and the industry began to tread back a bit. They're still trying, mind you, but I think they realized that getting people to be a part of this NFT digital fashion movement was gonna take a little bit more subtle marketing than just the outright, hey, you can make money with this. And then it utterly fails. Like NFTs, it's in shambles. And why is this? Because tech and fashion don't always match up. And leaving the brunt of the movement to be led by the likes of Mark Zuckerberg was definitely not the risk. Somebody was not thinking, who you gonna buy digital fashion from Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook? Anybody could have told you that was a bad idea. So those are some trends that have become staples now, or at least they're becoming that, and some that left us heavy in 2022. But what is missing on my list? What's on your list? That's what I want to know. What trends do you think are making headway and they could actually become staples? Because every time a trend comes around, sometimes, you get some staples in there, and so it could work. So I want to know what your thoughts on it, or maybe you disagree with some of the things that I said right here. Let it be known in the comments. And if you want extended episodes, access to our private discords, or if you just want to talk fashion or even learn how to start your own fashion business with a monthly business webinar to boot, join us on Patreon for all that and more. But most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info in international fashion culture and business from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu, and I will see you guys in a minute.